This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum, growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first, Duane Towes visits with Dr. Justin Smith about the importance of identifying animals coming in and going out of the state.
Duane Towes joining you once again here on Ag AM in Kansas. An opportunity to catch up with Dr. Justin Smith, Animal Health Commissioner. And Dr. Smith, we think about your department and working in Kansas in terms of animal health. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that most people really don't realize that has a lot of credence to why we need to do a better job of identifying animals.
That is correct, Duane. Honestly, the movement of animals that we have, we know that Kansas is primarily an in-shipment state, so we have a tremendous amount of animals that come into our state on a daily basis. And so what that means to me is that we've got a greater risk. And so with that idea, we need to understand where our animals are at, where they're going, and where they might be in the case that we do have an animal disease.
We think about some of those things that do come up, some endemic, some we import from outside of the state at times, and being able to track those animals is extremely important. I don't think most people understand what a trace out actually costs. If they knew how many dollars and cents and man hours it took to do a trace out on something, they might be more inclined to be helpful in terms of some premise IDs and animal ID.
That is correct. We, just a case in point, is we had a TB trace, a TB incident that was happening up in a state north of us, and it's caused a tremendous amount of traces for us here in the state of Kansas. Fortunately, a lot of those did have IDs, and we were able to trace those folks out. But if we had enough, there was numerous heads that was going to have to be followed through and tested upon. And so that premise ID capability and that traceability is vital to us being able to respond in a timely and an efficient manner.
And you referenced timely and efficient, depending on the severity and the virulent nature of a disease. Timeliness is extremely important.
Very much so. And I referenced the TB case. That's a slow disease. We get into some of our more prevalent diseases, the PEDVs in our swine industry, the foot and mouth disease that we may income someday in our livestock industry. We're behind the boat by already from the beginning. So.
There's a lot of people and folks within the industry that are looking at different options and how we do that. It always typically comes back from a producer's side of, can we do it at the speed of commerce?
Very much so, and that is the buzzword now. We have to do it at speed of commerce, and we know we have. And do we have that answer yet? No, I don't think we do. I think we're working there. We're light years ahead of where we were before, but we've got some work to do yet. And we know that is, and we're cognizant of that. We're cognizant of the fact that we have to be able to do it at the way that our industry is operating today.
And in reality, it kind of needs to be a national effort. We can't really operate with a bunch of hodgepodge state rules.
That is very true, and that's been evident in some of our other regulations, whether it be specific disease regulations like trichomoniasis or whether it's traceability in that respect. We have to have a common front, but at the same time, we can't put ourselves out there on an island and not have other states come along with us.
Speaking of being on an island, oftentimes these things happen in very rural areas across the state of Kansas, and our ability to have a good relationship with a local veterinarian is probably key in addressing most of these issues right there at the ground floor.
That is very true, and we don't make a big enough deal about that because it is obviously our local veterinarians that we rely on a daily basis to do this and to have the ability to support us in what we have to do. And so, and that's becoming another problem that we haven't even dealt in, and that is the ability to have the veterinary support we need in our rural communities.
That'll do it this time around on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at KFRM.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.